Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Gab, you're not dancing. What's happened?
Oh, he's not bopping.
No,
I
there's
couldn't
no
hear the
bopping.
music.
Oh, no, it's all going wrong. Frank is here as well. Craig's here. So many questions for Craig about Arteta and goalkeepers and substitutes.
Well,
after what happened yesterday. And not so many questions about potatoes, though, which is quite interesting.
No?
Gab, did you ever have your ear pierced? And did you do it with a potato?
I did not have my ear pierced.
Oh.
You don't
in my
do it
culture, that's something girls tend to do.
Oh, there you go.
not with you don't pierce the ear with the potato.
I'm not suggesting you do, but obviously the potato was a big instrument yesterday
I don't know.
of help. For Ali, what did Xavi do for João Felix's brilliant performance in a Barca shirt compared to his time at Atletico or Chelsea? Scored 2 today, of course.
Freedom, allow him to express himself, to be able to appear in different spaces and different areas in and around Lewandowski, always in connection with a true number 9 in Lewandowski, and knowing full well that when he talks to the inside, Alejandro Valde will overlap on down the left-hand side. So he knows that there are options for him to play with, and there are a lot of attacking talent players around João Felix, whose concern and main concern is to attack, not chase down players and defend, which seemed to be the thing that he was not doing for Diego Simeone. So far, so good, and João Felix is loving it. It's not only the goals, it's the game participation, the assist, the hold-up play, the little through ball that he got through his legs that ended up being to Lewandowski in the goal against Betis. There's a real good understanding between him and the other attacking players. It's all working out perfectly. I don't know if it's going to last.
Gab's not a fan of João Felix.
Why? I know.
Why don't you like him, Gab? What's wrong? What's he done to you?
He's done nothing to me. Just so much talent, so much ability. Obviously, he's been devastating in these 2 games. But I think, as Ali mentioned on the show, it's going to be interesting to see because now depth is great, but generally you have a hierarchy. And I think this is where Xavi's man management skills are going to come into play because Pedri's going to be fit at some point. There's going to be games where you want to play that way with Valde and Cancelo bombing up the pitch, fine. But then you're going to have to find room for Oriol Romeu in midfield. And at that point, you may want to go back to making Gavi part of the front 3. And then you've got an issue with potentially Rafinha, with Lamine Yamal, with Ferran Torres. So it is really complex, but so far, and it helps that you played Antwerp tonight, so far, you got to just tip your head to him. You know, Xavi read those games perfectly, and João Felix rewarded him. I mean, that was stellar.
Lovely. Craig, did Celtic disappoint you today? Well, they had 2 men sent off. Did they lose 2-0 or 3-0?
Well, they're playing. They didn't
Craig, they're your former club, your club legend.
Well,
quote.
Are you not as passionate as Celtic as Tonali is for Milan?
we had 6 TVs on, right?
Yes, we did have 6 TVs on.
And none of them were switched on by me or thee.
No.
They were switched on by the producer.
Yes.
Who was in there before us, and he had left 1 game out.
Yeah.
Well, I think there was 8 games, wasn't there?
Well, there was 2 early ones and then 6
Yeah.
when they were up.
So he left the Celtic one off the screens.
Yep.
And he just put it on as they went down to 9 men.
Yes. And that was it.
Brendan Rodgers is, I don't really
Because he's
know.
back. He's back now, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
He used to coach Celtic.
Yeah.
Then he went to Leicester. And now he's back.
Yeah,
He's vowed never to jump ship again, even if an offer comes along. You made that noise, not me.
Imagine. Brendan, we need you to manage England. No, it's all right. I'm here.
No, I'm enjoying getting battered in Europe.
That's it.
But I think they were somewhat competitive when they had 11 men, but his record, I believe, in Europe at Celtic from the previous time is pretty bad. So, yeah. No.
Frank, were you involved in a game where a goalkeeper scored? It's, of course, the Lazio goalkeeper who scored late on today.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't have that chance to see it or to be humiliated by it. So, never.
No.
Sorry.
So, boys, have you ever been? No.
An assist.
An assist from a goal? Yes.
No, but I'm talking about for a late corner kick.
Okay.
Yeah, flicked on head of the near post and ends up being a goal at the back post.
Oh.
That was Copa America 2011 against Paraguay to tie the game 3-3 late.
There we go.
What was it Shaq did?
What did Shaq do when?
Did he not come up for a corner once?
Well, yes, once he went up for a corner and he ducked out of the way, and it fell to Anton Ferdinand, who then scored.
Yes.
So Xhaka claims that as an assist, but he got scared, basically, when the ball was coming towards him.
He got the old tortoise neck.
Yeah, very much so, yes. His jump was even shorter than normal. We've done that one. Did AC Milan, Gab, sign too many Chelsea players? Is that why they couldn't score today?
No, that's not why they couldn't score today. I just thought they were unfortunate. Leao was silly. I thought Nick Pope, who hadn't had the best start to the season, actually made some big saves as well. But yeah, look, let's not pick on Milan. Milan played really well for once. Let's just leave it.
We were nice to them on the show, Gab. We were nice, weren't we?
But you know what's funny? I was watching the game, it was the early kickoff, and I thought, Newcastle aren't particularly good, but although I didn't think they were as bad as Craig said on the show. And then I heard Eddie Howe afterwards talking about how competitive Newcastle were, how well they played, how even though it did seem that most of the chances were falling to Milan, Newcastle certainly weren't outplayed by them. And I was wondering, why does he say these things?
I don't know. Meanwhile,
You don't have the answer?
Meanwhile, more anti-American choices across Europe. No Christian Pulisic in the starting 11, Gab. That's it.
Musa either.
No Musa.
Yeah, they did. Pulisic came on. Yunus Musa came on.
Wow.
Ricardo Pepi, I'm not so sure, but come on, man. What do you want? Pulisic started the weekend. Enough.
I said started at the weekend when they lost 5-1.
Exactly.
That was at the derby. The derby's far more important than this game.
Oh, my crikey.
I don't think people realise in Europe how important this is.
What's that?
Whenever an American gets binned from the starting 11, the wheels of industry just grind to a halt in this country. Millions, millions of factories just shut as people just wail and whine and cry.
Yes. Yeah.
How can you do this?
That everyone hates
This is
it.
immoral. It's just unjust. I know who left him out the Milan team.
Who's
Frank Lampard.
Lampard, yeah.
Frank Lampard.
Because he loves Mason Mount.
Frank Lampard likes Mason Mount, and somehow that relates around to Milan.
It all comes back to
and
this.
then Pioli met Frank Lampard on holiday, and he went, if you sign Pulisic, put him on the bench. That'll upset them.
Well,
across
just for a
the
bit of
pond.
fun. Just get everybody angry. Football Americas will have a big say on that.
Like what?
Don't worry about that. Gab, start bench drop these Chelsea disaster classes. Winston, Bogarde, Romelu Lukaku, Richard Fleck.
Robert Fleck.
I just read. I'm just read, don't I?
Well, just don't read.
It says, I don't know.
Think.
Think.
Look at it and go,
I
that's
haven't
wrong.
got time to think.
Robert Fleck.
Busy man.
Teammate of mine.
Okay.
What's Burley's backstreet potato?
Oh, this is where he does his
Have you not
ear
heard about
piercings.
this?
I have not heard this.
Right, if you want to pierce your ears tonight, get a spud,
A potato.
put it behind your ear, get
Yeah.
somebody to stab you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do it at home.
There we go.
Do not do that at home.
Okay.
That's backstreet piercing.
Right, where are we? Go on then, you go. Winston Bogarde, Romelu Lukaku,
No,
Robert Fleck.
I only corrected you. The question was for Gab.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start Romelu Lukaku because even though I was going to say it ended badly, it hasn't even actually ended, has it? There is a chance he could come back yet again. He did have some decent times at Chelsea, going back to when he joined them very, very young. I'm going to bench Robert Fleck because I talk about somebody punching above his weight, and it was a considerable weight relative to his size. You can't put him in the same class with the other two, and I say that with the greatest of respect. Winston Bogarde, that was just nasty. What happened there? The way he just wouldn't leave. He says, "You're going to pay me to my last time." Turned down every loan move, every chance to leave. Joking aside, I'm assuming that maybe there was something else going on there. This was a very bitter, angry man, and
Craig's
Talking about me.
I actually felt sorry for Winston Bogarde the way it ended. Obviously, he left a very wealthy man, but what he went through, clearly, there was something not entirely normal there.
I don't know these stories. I don't know Bogarde's story. And I don't know Robert
So
Fleck.
Winston Bogarde...
Well, I'm sorry, I don't watch Chelsea
Fleck.
TV. I don't know any insights of these people.
Listen, if he's a really bitter, angry man, he's perfect for this show.
Well, yes, exactly. Get him on. So, no, because people might not know this. So explain it quickly.
Explain what?
Bogarde and Fleck.
I wouldn't know Winston Bogarde if he popped up in my suit.
Oh, I thought you were looking at me as
I don't know Winston Bogarde.
That would be it.
Popped up as I don't know. Robert, if you want some John Fleck, who played for Sheffield United.
Yes.
That's his nephew.
Right.
You want a bit of background so you can leave here today and say, well, I learned something.
Well, there we go. No, I'm just trying to educate everyone.
Robert Fleck was at Rangers.
Yes.
Scotsman.
Yes.
Went to Norwich City and when Norwich were having a really good time. Scored lots of goals.
Did he have curly hair?
Yes.
Yeah, I know who
Blonde
he is.
curly hair.
Yeah, okay,
all right.
Yeah, there we go. I'm with you. I reckon.
Robert's got
recognise
lots
him if he came up in my soup.
Yeah. What about your pizza?
His hair would be all over the place.
Curls everywhere.
This was like a permy, curly. Right, anyway.
And Robert. No, well, he played in that Norwich side that went. I think he played in that side that went over and beat Bayern Munich with Jeremy Goss. Anyway, scored lots of goals.
Yes.
Big move to Chelsea.
Right.
And it just didn't work for Robert.
Okay.
And now I don't know the Bogarde stories.
Okay. Well,
Ask
apparently
somebody
he held on. He wouldn't move.
You what?
He wouldn't move. They wanted to get rid of him, and
Well, that's not really a story because everybody does that.
Well, Gab said he's paying. Frank, I feel like we need you to join in here in some.
Oh, just pull your wire, Frank. Just pull the wire out and say I'm going. It's late in Paris.
There you are.
I'd do that.
Frank.
Well, I know the Bogarde story a little bit, and the fact that he was on the always on the way of going when Kluivert was leaving. He was following Kluivert, and always the negotiation in order to get Kluivert was to get Bogarde as well. So it's why Bogarde, I think, went to Milan because Kluivert was going. Then Bogarde went to Barcelona because Kluivert went there, and so he arrived at Chelsea, and I was there, and we knew the background of Bogarde, and really I was amazed by the behavior, the situation of Bogarde, and I was very surprised that he ended up at Chelsea. So for me, in order for the three names that you have, I would have to put Lukaku because I'm very sorry, with all due respect, I don't know Fleck. I don't know him at all. So I will give him I will give him the benefits of the doubt. So I will just bench him and drop Winston Bogarde.
Do you think our boss just chose that because it said Burley's backstreet potato? That was his whole hope for that.
Hold on, he chose them.
Yeah, he chose them. Yeah, I believe so.
What a lifestyle, eh?
What a lifestyle.
That'll do.
I really thought the Winston Bogarde story was really good.
There we go. Right, Craig, were you ever in the hot seat with your coach? How did you resolve the issue, or did you just eventually transfer to a new team instead of working it out?
Listen,
Here we
I'm
go.
a problem solver.
If we had Kenny Dalglish on the line, what would he say?
Fine,
Fine.
would imagine. Called me up. Really thought I was making my transfer to Derby.
To make sure you were going.
No, I had a really good relationship with almost them all, including Kenny, Jim Smith. No.
John Gregory?
No, John and I never saw eye to eye.
No.
That's neither here nor there.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. We'll leave it
But
there.
what was the question?
Were you on the
You know,
hot
just-
seat?
Oh yeah, but sometimes, yeah, it's part of the job, isn't it?
Well, for some people more than others.
Well, it depends how you're playing, isn't it?
Well, yes, exactly.
If you're playing well, the seat is not as hot.
No.
If you're playing badly
No.
and you're in the hot seat,
Some people look for the hot seat because they like a confrontation.
this seat's cold. I can tell you this seat's cold.
Ali, with Luis Suarez moving towards the end of his career, who will be your new instructor at the School of Diving?
Well, we can call Luis Suarez.
Yes.
He'll have plenty of time.
Yes, exactly.
Although I've seen Luis Suarez the last couple of times.
No, he lost the dive.
Well, the issue is that he's not really getting to the ball, so that at least he can dive.
Who went down? Longstaff went down quite easily today, didn't he, in the Newcastle game?
Yeah, well, that's the thing that I've been saying for a long time in this show, that we try to portray that it's just a limited number of people that do this. Everybody does it at one point or another, and even VAR hasn't stopped people from doing it. You just have to do it better than everybody else so that you can get the calls.
I'll give you a guy that goes to ground very easily.
Marcus Rashford, you're going to say? Yes, anti-Manchester United.
No,
Bring it around to that.
I think that's a perfectly valid argument. Marcus Rashford.
Raheem Sterling goes down easy, but he's a bad diver.
Right.
Yeah,
He needs
needs better.
He needs to participate and come to the diving school. We'll get him better.
There we go.
Well, today we had a good example today with Xavi Simons, trying to get a penalty with Leipzig and falling, and even after not realizing that everybody saw that on camera, that he was untouched. He was saying that it was a crazy decision from the ref. That's crazy. I invite you to see that. Ooh. That's unbelievable that the young guy thinks that he has the right to dive without being touched, and on top of it, complaining about the fact the ref didn't give him a penalty.
Oh, I thought it was a penalty. When the goalkeeper came out and caught him, Frank.
Yeah, sure.
On what you're waiting down the list.
Should we skip the next question, because we've talked about Barcelona quite a lot? Can we do that? Is that all right, Pete?
Well, anti-Barcelona.
Well, no, we've talked.
Do what you want and see what the hot seat's like.
Oh no, we've got to do it apparently. All right, should Barca?
Oh, what a giant boa! How weak am I? Do it.
No, we skipped it. It's fine. We're good. It's
moved
gone.
on.
Right,
Moved on.
Frank, what time do you go to bed?
Well, when I have to do the show like today, not before 2 a.m. And because I have to relax after hearing Craig being so unhappy, so it makes me feel bad. So I have to relax after, and it takes an hour for me to feel good. But normally not before 1 a.m. every day.
Okay, all right, I like that. Let's get
a glass of red. Keep it good.
Right, there you are. Gab, what time do you go to bed?
Again, totally varies. Sometimes Sunday night before my eagerly awaited Monday musings column. It's usually around 2 o'clock. Otherwise, try to be in bed by 11:30, 12.
Oh, there we go. Let's keep this going.
2:30.
2:30, what, in the afternoon?
No, 2:30 a.m.
You do not go to bed at 2:30 a.m.
Greenwich Mean Time.
Yes, exactly. You're in bed by 9.
Well, see, it's very much dependent. You know I'm an early morning. You know I am early morning.
Yes.
Usually when the weather's good, 5:30, 6 a.m. I'm out with the dogs.
Just springs out of bed at... Oh, what a beautiful
Start
morning!
singing. Oh, the sun has got his hat on. Hooray! Let's doggies.
Oh no!
But then as the day goes on...
Yes. See, we
peaked
peaked very early in the day.
Yeah.
I'm singing out. Then all of a sudden, an email comes in. Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or.
Arteta subs.
Arteta. Kylian Mbappe.
It just all goes
The battery life dies.
So
and
by
dies.
the time I get at 7 a.m.
By the time I get in here at 5:30, no wonder I'm freaking miserable.
It's all gone wrong.
It's all gone.
But you hide it so well.
See that?
What's that?
It's my heart on my sleeve.
Oh. Don's got one of them, hasn't he? But it looks like a strawberry.
Yeah, no, I did better. I mean, Monday Night Football last 2 weeks, I managed to see the whole game.
Okay.
It's not. I have a couple of beers.
Right.
And that just, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have to get.
What about yourself, Ali?
Well, at midnight I start making my way.
Midnight?
Midnight?
Yeah.
Midnight I start sort of.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely I fade away.
Those days have gone.
And yes, and by the way, I'm not nearly as an early riser.
Oh,
as
yeah.
he
No,
is.
no.
Well, I've got 3 dogs.
What does that mean? About your mood?
What do you mean? I've got 3 dogs, and
Yes.
I am a very
Attentive?
attentive and caring dog owner.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I want to get out and get them moving, right? It's the best time of the day, the fresh air.
How come you're not as attentive and caring about us, human beings?
Well,
We can talk back, the dogs can't. Oh, no. Not the Football of the Year story again.
listen, if I thought giving you a lot of bone would shut you up, I would.
Gab, over the years, Pep has garnered a reputation for overthinking tactics. God, this is taking a turn from what time you go to bed. Pepper's got a reputation for overthinking tactics. Fair or not, do you feel Arteta is headed down the same path? Xhaka said yesterday he's believing his own hype when he was talking about substituting goalkeepers.
Look, and I'm wondering where I should steer this back towards the Arteta goalkeeping situation. I think this whole overthinking thing, funny enough, it only comes when they go and they lose, right? Other times that he does unusual things. I mean, today he substituted Bernardo Silva in the 44th minute of the first half.
Yeah, but he was injured, Gab.
Still, what? The guy can't stand around? I mean, the Red Star weren't doing anything. I mean, supposedly he was injured. But, he's done things like that. When it works out, people forget about it. I don't think he's overthinking. I think he's just trying to go and gain an edge. The difference is that Arteta isn't Pep. Maybe one day he will be. And look, what he's doing with the goalkeepers is certainly odd, and there's a reason that, in 150 years of football, it really hasn't been done very often. He doesn't help himself when he says when he says silly things and compares them to outfield players, because obviously goalkeepers spend most of the game standing around, so they don't get tired, and they sit in their little 6-yard box, and so tactically there isn't that much of a change that you would make during a game. However, I'm not going to blame somebody for trying to do something that's different from conventional wisdom. He's going to go out there, he's trying something. It's his backside on the line. He's the guy we're all going to laugh at if it blows up in his face, if Ramsdale goes out and tantrums, or David Raya decides to retire because he can't handle the back and forth. If it doesn't work out, it's his face who's there. So I wish him good luck. It seems unusual, but if it works out for him, hey, that's fine. That's not overthinking. That's thinking.
There we go. Arsenal in action tomorrow, of course. We'll discuss it more then. Have you heard the song The Sun Has Got His Hat On? Is that in the US as well?
What did you just say?
The Sun Has Got His Hat On, that Craig was singing.
No, I have not. I'm sure that you are going to sing it for me.
No, I was singing. It got me thinking if it was an English song or if it made it.
We have to pay royalties now, and that'll be deducted from my salary, and I'm in big.
No, I don't think you went long enough. I think you can do there's X amount of seconds you can sing for.
I can go longer now if you want.
That's all you want to. I wonder who wrote The Sun Has Got His Hat On.
Frank wants to go to his bed.
Yeah, I know. Look at him. He was pretending he's interested for half an hour here. Okay, thank you very much, Frank. Thanks, Gab. ESPN FC back on your screens tomorrow. It's Bayern Munich against Manchester United.